just a couple bad weather fans representing New York, talking all things sports. Man, what could go wrong? We got Alex, who's a fan of the Knicks, and Mike of the Nets. The yin-yang of the tri-state, place your bets on the Yankees, Giants, Mets, or Jets. Yeah, you should listen if it's sparking your interest. If you made a vow to your team, don't break it. Bad weather fans is the relation.
That's right, this is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 273. Mike Biseglia, Alex Vanessowitz, and the New York Knicks today. Well, they introduced their new head coach, Mike Brown. The Nets get ready for Summer League, and Steve Nash, Kevin Durant, LeBron James had a little podcast, and Nash and KD reflected on their time with the Nets. We'll talk about all of that. We'll start with the Knicks, though. Alex, good evening. How are you?
I am doing great. The Mike Brown press conference got me in a very, very, very good mood. You know, I know he's a performer, that he's like a really outgoing, great guy, fun-loving guy, teddy bear kind of a guy. But he said all the right things in this press conference. He just got you, as a fan, very, very excited. He's talked about accountability. He talked about leadership.
Culture.
He talked about culture. He talked about, my favorite word, he talked about being collaborative with everybody and listening to everybody and working with everybody and getting to reach out to Leon Rose to work on a staff together. He's excited to work with him. He said he's going to reach out to every player directly. He's just ready to rock. And if anybody was ready for a job, it's Mike Brown. I mean, he's coached the superstars of the superstars and LeBron James. He's been assistant coaches and won 3 championships with the Spurs and the Warriors. He coached Tim Duncan, Kawhi. Was it Kawhi? Kawhi might have been on the team, probably. And LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. Like, you know,
I've seen
the
it
Kings with De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. He's coached big markets, small markets, been in the finals, won championships, been around the block. If anybody is ready for a roster like the New York Knicks, a ready-made roster, it's Mike Brown. Just going to say that.
I thought it was really funny because we're on a group chat with our friend Corey.
Yeah.
He's getting a shout out way too early in this episode, but
Way
whatever.
too early.
And he was like, I really like Mike Brown. I don't want to like him, but he's just such a great guy.
Oh, he's a
like,
Knicks hater, by the way. People.
He's a Knicks hater. Yeah. And he's like, can you tell me something else? I'm like, don't dislike Mikal. You know, that's easy.
Yeah.
Easy one.
And then he said, I'll just dislike Jalen Brunson being demoted on the staff. And so I responded with Rick Brunson being demoted on the staff. And I just responded with something like, well, it's been working pretty well for Jalen Brunson since he's been with the Knicks to have his dad on the staff, having somebody able to check him and keep him in line. And the Knicks have won a ton of games since he's been an assistant coach. So I'm not sure keeping Rick Brunson on the staff to be in the ear of his son and Jalen Brunson, who wants him there, is a bad thing.
What does a demotion really even mean? Now you would probably know the nuances of the Knicks bench better than I would, but like, where was he in the pecking order of like, did he really get demoted? I mean,
demoted in theory. I mean, he's still on the bench. I mean, he was an associate head coach, like an assistant, like one of the top assistants. So maybe he's just going to be like one of the guys now. But either way, he's going to be on the bench, and that's all you really need is for him to be there. You know, he can get in the ear of Jalen Brunson. He knows Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges, obviously, since they were little. You know what I'm saying? Little, like in college. So he's probably like an uncle to those guys, and it's good to have him around. It's not a bad thing, and he's tight with Leon Rose. Leon Rose is Jalen Brunson's godfather. You know what I'm saying? So, like, he's going to be there, and, yeah, he'll be the mouthpiece to Leon Rose just by accident, not even if he's like, hey, I'm putting you on the bench to be my spy, quote unquote. But at the same time, he's there for Jalen, and Jalen wants him there, and Jalen needs him there, obviously, and it's fine.
That's more of the part that I find super fascinating. Is that Jalen wants him there, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think if that's what he wants, that's great. I guess the question would be, just there's some comfort level. He loves having his dad there
on the floor.
Can you imagine? It helps him as a basketball player.
Going to work every day with your dad and having your dad yell at you every day for not doing something right. Mike, you didn't edit this podcast correctly. And you'd be like,
Well,
thanks, Dad. Appreciate that.
my dad does have a podcast in the mix for something he wants to do, and I would
Yeah.
produce it. I think that would be the right thing
But
to
you're
do.
technically like in charge in that situation.
Yes.
So
Yes. I
it's a
would
little
be
different.
technically in charge. Yeah, it's not a direct comp, but no, I just find that part of it
Not
fascinating.
direct copy. Yeah, exactly.
What do you want? I mean, it's it's fucking Tuesday night. I'm tired.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's just the people who are making it like Rick Brunson was this big problem on the team, and that's the reason why there's been all these problems. And I know they had to dust up with Dante DiVincenzo in the preseason, but you know what? That could have just been Dante talking shit because he got traded. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Good
all.
chance.
And then at the end of the game, they're all hugging each other, so it doesn't matter. I mean, besides Rick, who got in his face, so it's just the players are all hugging each other. I
No,
just feel like it's
trust
much to
me,
do about nothing.
I'm with you on that. As much as
Yeah.
as much as I want to be like, there's just some horrible problem there. I don't think there is. I mean, if you went to another podcast and you were on there, I would talk shit to you on the side,
Right.
and I might get heated too, which you and I have done in the past. Again, not a direct comp, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
Right. Right.
I could totally see that, and I could totally understand that from that perspective. But
Yeah,
I,
I don't
I
get
think
it.
I think
Yeah.
the unanswered question, and if you're a Nick fan, I guess does it really matter? It is about Tibbs. Now, I think as the season progresses, like you talked about, you were happy with what you saw in the Mike Brown press conference. I'm happy for you. This is not a Nick hater statement. I just don't. It doesn't matter, right? Like,
No, it doesn't.
Ultimately, it doesn't matter, and I do not want to go down a rabbit hole of New York sports press conferences and do a power ranking, and we'll do here's the Mount Rushmore of the best and worst.
Adam Gase looking at a taco.
Right. All of it. Ben McAdoo wearing the suit 10 sizes too big.
Yeah,
the whole
I
thing.
know. That's
But
just generic sports radio.
It won't
bullshit.
matter. It just won't matter. But we'll look at it, 2 months into the season, what's happening, what are the relationships, how is this going? It's also too, how are we going to judge Mike Brown in the regular season? This will be interesting because it's going to be all fresh. Like everything we see will be all fresh. His rotations, his ideas, his beliefs. Now, I'm under the opinion, and I think all Nick fans would agree with me here, that it didn't matter who they hired for the regular season. They're going to win a shit ton of basketball games, right? Like they're going to win a lot of regular season basketball games. If it was Mike Brown, if it was Mike Budenholzer, if it was Mike Biseglia, just naming everybody with MB initials.
Right.
If it was Milton Bradley, whatever.
Mitch Benesowitz, my dad. Yeah.
If it was your dad.
Yeah.
Point being, they're going to win a shit ton of basketball games. Now, we'll be fresh to see, like, all right, how does Mike Brown handle rotations? Is Mikal Bridges now playing better than he did last season because he's more comfortable? What's it look like with Mitch? Who's coming off the bench? All these dumb regular season things you're going to have to worry about. Fuck you all. But what will matter is when he gets to the playoffs. And then it'll be under the microcosm of, hey, there's 3 minutes left and your two best players are on the sidelines. Did you foul to get them in? Right? Hint, tips. That's when we're kind of going to get more. It'll be fun in the regular season because it'll be all new. But at some point, you're going to be like, it's just going to be about the playoffs again.
But new is not always good. As we know as Knicks fans who are older, in the 90s, Pat Riley's gone. They didn't go from Pat Riley to Jeff Van Gundy. There was a Don Nelson stop in between for about a half a season.
I remember.
And he tried to make the defensive team an offensive team and make the Anthony Mason like the feature option, which he was great and became an all-star after the Knicks. And he obviously had the talent to be a feature option, but not over Patrick Ewing in his prime. And it just, you couldn't, it just didn't work. And the players feuded with him and he came from the outside and they were a tight knit group and it was bad. It was a bad situation. But Mike Brown is not that. Yeah, exactly. Mike Brown has been around the block. He's coming in, knowing his role, knowing what he needs to do, without an ego. He's not gonna change. He's not gonna, if it isn't broke, don't fix it, kind of a thing. He's not gonna come in and try to, reinvent the wheel. Is what I was looking for. He's just gonna come in and be like, all right, let's work together. Let's build a scheme. Let's get this together. We know who our best players are. We know who our leaders are. We have a bench. We're going to utilize it a little more, and let's rock. And that's it. He's not stupid. He knows this is his last chance. It's his fourth job.
This is it.
And this is it for him. And he's been around the block, and he's got a lot of opportunities. He had a raw deal with the Kings, and that's why he got this fourth opportunity, because there's not going to be a fifth unless he wins a championship. And even if he does win a championship, he might not want a fifth. He might just be like, fuck it, I'm done. Go into the booth and, be a legend in New York forever. And that's it. And it is what it is. He's not getting paid a tremendous amount of money as a coach. It's about $10 million a year, something like that. Offset language. I don't know what the fuck. That's for another podcast. But at the same time, the point is, he knows his role, and he's not going to come in here and ruffle any feathers. He said in his press conference he's excited to work with Leon Rosen on cultivating a staff, I think was his exact words. So put your money where your mouth is. Knicks they have the talent to win 60 games, especially with the bench being better, with Jordan Clarkson taking the vet minimum and Ubaselli coming in, and they still have a spot for another vet minimum contract and another rookie. So knowing Leon Rose, he's probably not going to fill that last roster spot, but I can see them bringing in another vet minimum in here, at the end of free agency when somebody doesn't sign. So we'll see.
Yeah, Knicks are going to win a shit ton of basketball games. Going to see what happens, in the playoffs. I think we've seen from this past year in the ECF that it's about what happens when you get there. It's again, it's a broken record, but it's true. It's about health.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be injuries that happen in the NBA and in the NBA playoffs. Tatum went out, Halliburton went out, and it's impacted the next season.
Right.
Knicks were relatively healthy this year. They got healthy at the right time, and they took advantage of it. And they got themselves 2 games away from an NBA Finals until they met a better team in the Pacers that were just clicking on all cylinders, who were the lower seed. They were the 4 seed, one less win, but we're just playing great basketball at the right time. And
right.
I think in this new world of the NBA, that's really important. That really matters, especially once you get to the playoffs. So
Yeah.
it's a long grind, but again, it's there for the taking, especially in the Eastern Conference. So go Cavs, right?
Go Cavs. Yeah, I mean it's anybody's conference, man, and it's up for grabs between the Cavs and Knicks. Magic, maybe the Bucks, depending on how they do the Hawks. 76ers are going to come back up. I know you keep poo-pooing that, but I
just don't think they'll win when it counts. They'll win regular season games.
I'm just saying they're going to be a
playoffs.
They're going to be a problem. They're not just going to be a nothing team again unless they're all injured again. That's the only way it's not going to. They have too much talent to not be. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about Paul George.
I get you. I
just
don't trust them at all.
Yeah. Whatever.
No trust.
But,
none.
What are your thoughts on Cam Thomas? What do you think is going to happen to him? You think they're going to do a sign and trade for the Nets?
I think he'll sign eventually. I think he's just playing the market out, but there is no market for him.
No market.
There's no market for anybody in free agency. Yeah. Just the way it worked out this year, where all these teams did not have salary cap space except for the Nets, and the Nets decided not really to even use their salary cap space. They used it for sign-in trades to take on bigger salaries. And I was kind of thinking about it. I was a little disappointed because I look at how the Knicks use all their salary. They didn't get Kyrie and KD, but they signed Julius Randle, for example.
Bobby Portis, Alfred Payton.
They signed guys and they went that route. And it ultimately worked for them through shrewd moves. The Nets are going with the rebuild mode. When I just felt like a little pissed. Not just we have all this cap space. We didn't use any of it on guys. Was disappointing. But at the same time, I understand the idea of just a true rebuild and just getting young talent and young players in there. And it was, it was kind of sickening because the Steve Nash, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, YouTube video podcast came out, the second part of this show. And of course they got into the Brooklyn stuff. And if they didn't, what
are we doing?
What are we you got Kevin Durant and Steve Nash together, but they did. I mean, they discussed it. If they didn't, it'd be like, guys,
this is a waste of time.
Come on.
So props to them.
How many
though,
bottles
of
wine does it take to get you to spill the beans?
They could have easily avoided it. But so
I know
you got to give them props for doing it. I mean, they had to, but whatever.
So I know you dislike Kevin Durant, and I know that a lot of Net fans dislike KD. I do think he is a good guy. And I think the insecurity that comes out when he interacts with people on Twitter, like I think it's a lot of it's petty and it's back and forth, but I I think like you look at it and break it down like he's having fun, and I don't think he is a bad guy. I think if you read between the lines of what he said a lot of like Kyrie kind of fucked them. When you listen back to everything, he did not take accountability for some of it was his fault. You
Of
know,
course not.
the most annoying Nash did. He said he felt like he disappointed everybody. He also said he felt like he didn't coach enough, which is also true. I mean, everything they said, it was, the shitstorm of everything to go wrong that went wrong.
What do
And
you mean he didn't coach enough? What does that mean?
like
That he
he
didn't.
didn't get to put his footprints on his coaching style
Got it.
on there, which makes sense though when you think about, Kyrie saying we don't need a coach. Well, what do you expect? But I watched it because I was just curious. But it's just a reminder of how pathetic and sad all of it was. That's what it came to. And it's like, you kind of hide it in the back of your brain because you're now in the next phase of the Nets. But it wasn't that long ago. It really wasn't that long ago. And you just think back to it and it just brings back those memories. LeBron James starts the segment, this part of it going, Steve Nash goes to Kevin Durant. What do you remember most about Brooklyn? And LeBron's like, your toe on the line. And you're just like, oh God. Like instantly sinks you
Yeah.
into a like trying to like not forget think about that, but it
Not the air ball.
automatic.
Not the air ball though. What happened to that? He doesn't want to think about
Well,
that.
I mean,
There's air ball at the end of that game. I mean,
uh,
it did happen.
yeah, I mean, it was a fadeaway three. He went for the same shot again. He missed it. The guy put up 50, 10, and 10 in all those games.
I know.
Like,
Played like 117 minutes. No, I get it.
yeah, he
That
was
game.
incredible. He just didn't have help in because of the injuries. But they talk about the injuries being a problem, all the bullshit going around. It was kind of like they were all kind of hinting at it, but nobody took accountability themselves.
Right. Well, you're not allowed to criticize Kyrie for some reason. You're just not allowed. Nobody can do it. No athlete, no current athlete, no former athlete, no one in the media, no coach, no ex-coach. No one's allowed to criticize Kyrie because he's like radioactive and you're just going to get spammed to no end by everyone. He's a good guy. No, he's whatever. I'm not going to go down that road. We know what he said about Jews and we know what he did. You know, everybody knows. Everybody listens to podcasts knows. We're not going to get into that. But the point is like you're not allowed to touch him, and that's just it's bizarre to me. So, whatever. But as a Nets fan, I can see that you're kind of like the Knicks of last year, the 2024 Knicks when they got hurt and lost to Indiana in the second round because you never got the finishing piece. You never got to see them lose. You felt like you got robbed. But the Nets get all these superstars and they get to the playoffs and then they get robbed of their one shot when Kyrie wasn't being an idiot.
A
Like, you
hundred
know what I
times,
mean?
it's 100 times worse in my
Oh my God, 100 times worse. I'm just saying,
because
like
that
you
team
didn't get.
was
The point is that like it hurts so much more because it's not like you got to the Eastern Conference Finals, you got to the finals, you lost in seven, then you lost in six in the second round the next year, and you lost, and you're just like, all right, we just weren't good enough. It was a fun run, we had our shot, it just didn't happen. But the fact that you got one run and then there was injuries and all the stupid shit that went on with Kyrie at that time,
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons, it just hurt so much more. So that's all. That's just what
Yeah,
I
and
think.
the mandate stuff that changed everything and
Yeah.
added a wrinkle. I mean, it's just all
Right. Well, that's
putrid.
Kyrie again. You know what I'm saying? It all comes back to him. You know what I'm saying? But no one's allowed
Right
to
or
say
wrong
it.
on that
I'll say it.
decision.
Fuck,
Right
I
or wrong
care.
on that
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah.
It
No, right
still
or
was on
wrong.
his
I mean,
shoulders.
yeah, but like you want to win a championship, get the shot. You know what I'm saying? Like what everybody else did. Like, what are we
Right.
doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like you don't give a shit. You care about yourself more than you care about the team. So that's really what it came down to. And I respect everybody's decision not to get a vaccine. But if you're giving up millions of dollars to not get a vaccine, then I question you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how I am as a person, and it is what it is. I mean, I don't want to go back into that debate,
No, but
but
this is
it's
this
part
is
of this
this.
conversation.
Well, this is it's all part of it, and
Yeah,
it brought me back to it. It brought
be a
me
great
back to it.
documentary. It'll be a great
I
documentary.
agree with that. I was actually thinking that somebody needs to do. I mean, they're doing videos on things that came out recently too, so it's not like
It's got to wait. You got to wait a little bit. We got to wait for this. The story's not done. We got to see what happens to Durant, what happens to Kyrie, what happens to Harden, what happens
But
in
I
the next
mean,
chapter.
what happens? We know what happens to them.
Well,
They're
how
gonna
does
go. They're gonna go to these teams and not win.
But what if there's a Durant has love for the Nets. He said it at the Fanatics Fest or whatever that
I
is.
don't. I think you could write the story now because that chapter on the organization's done.
But what if he comes back to the Nets and then you end
Then
it
he,
like he
you
finished
could
his
do. You could do
career?
the goddamn
You
documentary
do a
now.
part
Okay.
two, like the
He
U
comes
part two.
back. It's
Yeah,
gonna be him way past his prime, and
yeah,
he's
yeah.
just a not a shell of what he was when he was with the Nets.
hmm I
You could do it now.
I'd wait. I hate documentaries that are too soon. It's just
That you could do it. I want to see it.
like the not the Redeem Team. The Redeem Team was great because it was older, but the documentary on the last year's Olympic team, I'm like, come on, I just saw this. You know what I mean? I don't need to be reminded of something that I just saw. With Steph Curry and LeBron going back. It's just like, all right, like, But
There
the
will
the
be a
Redeem Team was cool because you saw Kobe, you saw this, you saw that, and that was fun. Interesting and Mello, younger Mello, and stuff like that. But
there will be a documentary on it.
there will be, there will be.
There will be eventually. I mean, it's too good of a story from
Mhm.
everything that happened. It's just too juicy.
It is
Superstars,
with the COVID and the
COVID,
anti-Semitic shit and all that stuff.
foot on the line, the playoff games, only played 16 games together, Harden demanding a trade,
And
Kyrie
if there is a
demanding trade.
documentary, Evan Roberts has to be in it with the dribble, 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 fat, fat, fat. That was like one of the most
Yeah.
classic pieces of radio, and his local radio, diehard Nets fan, getting the news broken
Yeah, what do
live
you-
to him on the radio. I remember listening to it in the car, and I saw the alert on my phone pop up that he was traded, and I'm listening to Evan. And I'm like waiting for him to get the news. I'm just like
Yeah.
waiting, 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 waiting.
Yeah.
It was insane. So
I was
props to
delivering
him.
Uber Eats when they traded for James Harden. I heard the news in the car and I was where was I? Was I in Verona? Anyway, doesn't
Did you
matter.
eat the person's food?
I never did that. I've never
Never,
done that.
never took a fry
Never.
out of a bag.
No, I never once took. The only time I took food was when the order got picked up the food, was traveling to the restaurant, and the order got canceled mid
And the
drive,
restaurant doesn't want the food back.
and you get an alert. Please throw out the food in the
Oh
garbage.
yeah, yeah.
Well, and at the time, I was really heavily involved in my Mike Delivers podcast. So I'm like, well, I got to see what the food is here for the podcast. I'm not just throwing it out. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a shitty pliable. I don't like them. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but I'm not a huge pliable person. I'm just like,
Listen, it's
whatever.
free food. You might as well bring
Yeah,
it
no,
home.
I
You know what I
checked
mean?
it out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like it was like a high
Have it for lunch the next day or something. Yeah, you
Yeah,
know.
it's a pliable. It's not my
Yeah.
thing. But yeah,
What's a
that's
pliable? I don't know what that is.
it's like people that think they're being healthy, but it's 8 billion calories of granola, yogurt, bananas,
Some
chocolate syrup.
Okay. Like,
But
or
it's
when you're
not
on a
really
specific diet, like some random diet.
No, it's
that
like a
you're
big
on.
thing with I don't know.
I never heard of
We're
that, man.
old. It
Must
just
be some Jersey thing.
it might be. You would know it if you saw it. It is a Jersey thing.
Yeah,
Greatest
probably.
state in the world.
Yeah,
You would- if you-
armpit
if
of
you-
America. Yes.
It's hey, you don't get Mike Buddha on this. But yeah, that was the one time.
No,
That's when I found out
interesting.
about the trade.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's been a lot going on. It's gonna be a fun season for the Knicks and the Nets for both teams.
Yeah, I
Knicks are
mean,
gonna be
I'm definitely more
contenders.
excited.
Nets are gonna be exciting. I mean, we got to see what the summer league's gonna be. Is must see TV for the Nets. Are you excited for that? Do you have it circled on your calendar? Are you ready to watch it?
I am ready to watch it. So it's third. Let's see the times of these.
It's
things.
fun watching summer league when you have rookies because it's not like about wins and losses because who gives a damn? It's more about like let's see these guys.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Give me something to hold on to. So
Yeah, I
that's
just
it.
want to. So I'm actually
Looking for
on
the schedule.
Thursday getting a vasectomy. I don't even care. I'll say it. So I'm gonna have time to watch TV. I have no responsibility of like movement.
And again, I told you this.
It says
the other
July
day on the.
against Oklahoma City. I'm trying to see the time for Thursday.
That's probably at night.
Probably. Oh, here we go. 5:30 Eastern.
Ugh. Well, yeah, that sucks. You'll be with the kids, right?
No, not really though. I got to sit in bed.
Oh, because you're getting the vasectomy. Perfect. Yeah. Good time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All I can think about is the Tony Soprano thing I told you the other day, where the one scene I can remember from Sopranos, and I watched it a million years ago. And he goes, as long as I have my balls, they're going to be intact.
Yeah, you can cut mine
So,
up.
but your balls will not be intact, Mike. So,
No, well, I hope they are.
well, they'll be intact, but they just won't.
I've never had surgery in my life.
Wow. I've had a few.
Nothing.
I've
Never
had
been. Never done anything.
one, two, three surgeries. Three, four, three surgeries.
Three, maybe more.
Appendix removed, my gallbladder removed. I had a double hernia. I've also broken bones, my foot twice, fractured my ankle, broke a finger, tore a ligament in my shoulder. It's great, man. It's been fun. Oh, and I fell off
Nothing.
my bike once and I had stitches in my head. That was fun. A lot of times, a lot of things.
Still,
Oh,
I've
I got
had
stitches
stitches.
here. I got elbowed playing basketball. My eyebrow right here. You could see it. My
Can we,
eyebrow's a little fucked up.
actually, can we
So,
bring up your basketball league?
sure. What's up?
Is it a good league?
It's not like a league. It's just a bunch of guys that
Is
get
it? Is
together
it
every Wednesday and play.
Where would you put the competitive level compared to Knicks Twitter basketball?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't watch any of that. The Knicks Twitter basketball. We don't have referees. It's just a bunch of guys playing
Yeah.
pickup, and we don't have Ben Stiller watching us. But it's every Wednesday, and we have a good time with it, and it's fun. It's like the first game starts off, you're on fire, everybody's running around, all hyped and playing well, and the
Yeah.
game goes by quick. And then by the time you get to the second or third game, we're like all gassed. And that video I
Yeah.
posted with me doing the cut and the V cut and hitting the jumper,
Such bad
my
defense.
guy Mike, who was guarding me, he was gassed.
Yeah,
So that's like he was like, ugh, like where'd he go? He's actually really good, and he was just so tired, and so was I. But I was just like popping jumpers at that point.
It
That's
looked like he was
So,
moving in slow motion.
yeah. I sent it to everybody and the guys in our group chat, and I gotta film the first game, so at least we look a little faster.
Yeah, do that, please. I was like, this that is a cool idea putting the Knicks Twitter basketball games together. How
Yeah,
many
I mean,
people
it
showed
wasn't
up?
it
What was
wasn't
it?
the guy Sean's idea. It was an idea from Twitter. Like everybody had the idea. We should all get together and bust, and really play. And then he just organized it and
Yeah.
made money on it. And props to him. Did his business. But
Yeah.
it wasn't
No,
his
I,
idea. That's
I mean, I
all.
love playing basketball, so I think it'd just be fun. Obviously with Nets Twitter, there's not nearly as many people, right? Because Nets Twitter's
Of course
so
not.
cool.
No. I mean, there's a
Um,
lot of Nets fans though on Twitter. I don't know how.
you could put a you could put a
There's also
thing
a lot
together.
more Knicks fans on Twitter that didn't go. You know what I mean? It was very kind of a cliquey, secluded kind of a thing. So
I agree
like,
with that.
it's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
You can't have a Twitter thing without Anthony Donahue there. So that's all I have to say. Like he's Mr. like Nick fan.
Wait, was he not there?
No, he wasn't. He was doing an event for the Mets Yankees game that day or
Okay.
something. So
Who'd win Knicks Twitter versus Nets Twitter in basketball?
oh, I don't know. Probably
I don't
Knicks.
actually
We're
have no
just
idea.
such
Actually,
smarter fans. So obviously, so we'd outsmart you if we weren't as athletic.
Man. The
So
smartest fans in the league, though.
yeah, smartest and loudest fans, of course.
Who's the loudest fans in the league?
The Knicks.
Nah, I don't know.
Oh, Pete
They're
Alonso
top
home run.
three.
There we go. And
What's
Lindor
that?
home run. Pete Alonso and Lindor home run.
What's the
Wow.
score?
I don't know. I just got an alert that they hit home runs. Let's see. 6-6. Top 8.
Oh, wow. All righty. You good, Alex?
I'm good. You want to do jersey number trivia?
Oh, yes. By the way, I got this. I got the answer. So when Dolan, shout out to Dolan J. Trump, follow him on Twitter.
Jersey number trivia. He gives me a number. He gives me clues and a number as a Nets. Mike gives Mike a Knicks one. We have to read it to each other and guess it. Yeah.
I read it and I didn't see the answer. I scrolled up real fast and read his Q&A and I got it.
Oh, well. Yeah, I tried to do that, but then I scrolled down too far on the clues and I was like, damn, I saw it.
And I'll say this will be a clue for you. I thought, what's so funny? You're laughing at something.
I'm laughing because one of the guys in my basketball group is the two of them are from Baltimore, which is the weirdest thing. And the Mets are playing the Orioles.
Gotcha.
So I randomly just texted Orioles suck, and he wrote back, "Cool, dude." That's all. But the Mets got 4 in the 8th to tie it up at 6-6. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Anyway, sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying that I got it with the college. That's how I figured out who it was.
Got it. Well, you're a big college guy. Okay, so who wants to go first?
I'll go
Jersey
first.
number trivia. Okay,
I'll go
ahead.
first. You went first last time.
Mhm.
I just make things up because you're not listening. He played 13 years in the NBA with only one of those seasons at the Mecca.
13 years in the NBA, 1 at the Mecca. Tracy McGrady.
You serious?
Is that really what it is?
No.
Oh, okay.
With the Knicks, he made 21 starts at the center position during the 2014-2015 season.
How many starts, you said?
21.
21 starts. Okay.
He was drafted 26th overall in the 2001 draft by the Philadelphia 76ers, a team he played 8 seasons with.
Okay.
This is a good one.
8 seasons.
With the Sixers.
Wow.
His
2001 he was drafted?
2001 26th pick.
Okay.
His career also featured a 1 year. His career also featured 1 year pit stops in Dallas, Houston, Milwaukee, and Sacramento.
I don't know. Keep going.
This is the clue where I got it. He played college ball in the Big East at the same university as Adrian Griffin, Eddie Griffin, and Terry DeHare.
I don't know. Keep going.
He was acquired along with Jose Calderon, Wayne Ellington, and Shane Larkin in the deal that sent Tyson Chandler and Raymond Felton to Dallas.
Oh, I know who it is.
You want to guess or do you want to hear his number?
It's Dallin Bear.
You're right. He
Yeah.
wore, with the Knicks, he wore number 11. He went to
Yeah.
Seton Hall, by the way.
The trade gave it away. So that's how I knew it. The Sixers, I don't know why I couldn't associate him with the Sixers. It was just in my head.
That's where he was for his prime.
Yeah. Yeah. His prime.
I hope Dolan went easy on me.
I think you'll get this. Okay. Nets clue. He played 5 seasons in the NBA with 2 of them for the Nets, one in New Jersey and one in Brooklyn.
This is this fringe.
This
This
is
is
your gray area when they
my
moved.
gray area. I'm not going to get it.
You were
telling you
mad
right
at them
now.
for like a year, right? So, and they sucked too.
I moved to Virginia, and this is my low point. Yep.
He was drafted 25th overall in the 2011 draft and was a member of the 2011-2012 All-Rookie team.
2011. So I am all rookie team. Okay.
With the Nets, he averaged over 12 points as a rookie and made 47 starts at the shooting guard position.
Oh, so he was drafted by the Nets. Did I get confused by that? So he was drafted by the Nets as a rookie? Is that what he's saying?
He didn't say.
Oh, read that again.
He never said who drafted him. He just said.
Okay, because you said as a net. I thought you just said that.
Yeah, well, that's what he wrote.
So say it again.
With the Nets, he averaged over 12 points as a rookie and made 47 starts at the shooting guard position. He doesn't say if he was drafted. It
sounds like he was drafted by the Nets, but okay.
It's misleading. Yeah, very misleading clues. He played in the Big East at the same university as former Nets Eric Williams, Eric Murdoch, as well as Billy Donovan.
They went to Providence, I think. Is it Marshawn Brooks?
It is. It is. Good job.
Okay.
The rest of the clues, his career also features stops with the Lakers, Memphis, Golden State, and Boston. He's part of the blockbuster that brought Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Jason Terry to Brooklyn. With the Nets, he wore number 9.
9. That was close.
All
right.
I
do love jersey number trivia. I think we've had Marshawn as the answer
before.
That would be fun to go back and see if you can. If you're listening, go back, listen to every episode. Actually, this would be simple. Just download them, upload them to ChatGPT, and say, "Can you give us the answers?"
Can you upload full episodes like the ChatGPT?
If you get the transcripts.
Oh, yeah. Because I know you can upload photos. I didn't know you can upload videos.
You would have to get the transcript and then just teach Chat to learn how to find the say, "Hey, jersey number trivia, find the answers."
Yeah. All right. So before we cut off, which rookie is going to have the best summer league? In your opinion? Don't think.
Demon.
Yeah. You think
he'll probably have the worst.
Somebody's going to have a good summer league and you get Net fans all excited. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I want to. Here, let's see. Give me 10 seconds.
1, 2, 3,
I will
4.
probably say. I'll say Danny Wolf just because he is the oldest.
Right. Right.
Although he's not the oldest.
He's not?
But
He went to college a couple years, right? He was
yeah, date of birth 04. Oh wow, how about that? I'm way wrong.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Oh
guys
four.
born in
Oh
2006.
four.
Ben
Jeez.
Saroff, 2006.
I was like
Greg Powell's not playing 2005. Where's Demon on this? Why
2006.
don't I see
I
it?
was like a
Demon,
fully functioning adult.
2006.
That's like
When
crazy to
Egor
me.
Demon was born, I was a senior in college.
2006.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was at Connecticut School of Broadcasting, actually.
Think about that, where you were in your life. And that guy's just popping out.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was the year the Mets lost to the Cardinals in NLCS.
It's
And
crazy.
Carlos Beltran stared at strike three. Thanks for that, Carlos. And I
I was
trashed
with
my
Al,
ex girlfriend's dorm room. I was so angry.
I was with Al Groh.
You were with Al Groh?
Yeah.
What do you mean you were with Al Groh?
You,
Oh,
you know,
watching. Oh, you told me that story. Yeah, yeah. You
yeah,
happened to be at an event.
I was right near Al. I was like 8 feet from Al Groh when I saw that. It was a UVA versus North Carolina Thursday night football game, and I had to cover it. I
So
was
you
like,
said Al Groh, and for some reason I heard Al Gore, and like Al Groh, the former
yes.
Jets coach, and for some reason I heard Al Gore, and that's why I paused. I'm like, what? I was like, oh, Groh. Like,
Not that she might get mad at me for saying this, but I don't really care. My wife always found Al Gore attractive. I always didn't understand that.
well, he did invent the internet, so I
I
mean,
don't
he
know. I
did.
just thought that was a weird one, but whatever. Shout out to you, Jessica. Y'all got your things.
Yes, yes. Hey,
Um,
listen,
whatever.
he should have been president. Let's have that
You
debate.
want to get into the
The
hanging
hanging
Chad?
Chad. The
I'll do
hanging
20
Chad.
minutes on that. You want to do politics?
How did Jeb Bush? He was the governor of Florida. I wonder how his brother got elected with the
Well, then
getting
Jeb tried to run in, I guess,
Oh,
the first Trump primary,
yeah. Great
but
times.
did not win.
All right. Goodbye. I'm gonna go
Okay.
to sleep.
All right. Bad weather fans. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.